8 road signs I only saw after moving to America. Really curious to see what these road signs are and see what they mean. Before we do get into this, I appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's straight to this video and see what we got.
I mean, look at the shield. It's almost as American as Captain America, who I've just realised also has a shield.
Are we talking about signs? What are we talking about?
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to
signs.
Road signs.
Road signs.
Even as somebody who doesn't myself drive, I've always taken a shine to road signs. Like most children, I used to while away the hours sitting in my bedroom sketching stop signs. That was just me. Thankfully, after a while, I did take that sign's advice. But after moving to the United States...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think you might be the only one. I don't know anyone watching this ever draw, like, road signs?
Even as a long-time passenger, I noticed there were a lot of road signs that we don't have back in the UK. Ironically, with almost exactly the same design, stop wasn't one of them. And while there were other road signs that were quite familiar, there were some that made me go, what? Huh? Which you don't really need when you're taking driving lessons. It's partly the reason I never passed the test. Anyway,
that's why I'm here watching this, bro. I want to see if there's any interesting ones.
Without further ado, here are 8 road signs I only encountered after moving to America.
Right.
Ah, yes, the good old no turn on red sign. And if you're American, you might be wondering, oh, Lawrence, you mean you don't have these in the UK? Does that mean that people are constantly turning on red with no consequences? No, it means that turning on red is illegal in the UK.
Yeah, UK, you don't turn on red at all. You don't go on red. You just, if you see red, you come to an absolute stop, right? So, like, me driving in America, it's going to get some used to turning on red. I ain't going to lie.
But for my British viewers who might be a little bit confused, those no turn on red signs are only used at specific crossroads. In the absence of them, cars can absolutely turn on red. So imagine my surprise when I discovered this for the first time. I'm standing at the crosswalk waiting for the traffic light to turn red. I cross the road. My expectation in doing so is that the cars that are just immediately round the corner will stay put with their turn signal going tick, tock, TikTok. Is Lawrence on TikTok? Yes, I've just signed up. Become my first follower. But
you know what? Bravo. Way to pull it in there, bro.
Instead, the car starts inching round and not knowing what to do.
You know what? It will be like, I'm imagining driving in America for the first time. Like, it's going to happen. Because when I go to America, I'm definitely going to hire a car, yeah? It's going to be very, very, very scary turning on red for the first time ever. That's going to be such a scary experience, dude.
Backed up onto the pavement and the cars just kept going and I looked like an idiot.
Yield.
In the United States, the yield sign is an important sign. If 2 drivers are merging onto the same road, it's a good idea for one of them to yield the right-of-way so as to not cause an accident. And you might be thinking, oh, you don't have this sign in Britain, Lawrence. How come the cars don't crash? And the answer is our cars are much smaller, so the odds of crashing are reduced. But also, we sort of do have that sign. It even looks like your sign. But it's not called yield. It's called give way. And so there you have it, I suppose. There's an example of a road sign that I only encountered after moving to America.
Okay, so your yield is give way. You know what? I like your name better. Yield. It sounds like I'm a Viking. Like, isn't that what they say? They like scream yield, and that means like drop your sword and shield. Am I correct in saying that?
Because it was named different. Another example is this.
Divided highway.
This one was pretty straightforward. I already knew that the word highway was basically another word for motorway, which is what we use in Britain.
But what is divided?
The word divided indicated 2 lines of highway with something in the middle, like a median or a quaint picnic area. Nonetheless, this didn't stop it from standing out as being something different from what I would have seen in Britain. Firstly, we don't call it a divided highway, but a dual carriageway. And weirdly, if there is one, I don't remember what the sign looks like that indicates a dual carriageway.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I can't recall. Is that what it is? I don't think I've seen that. I've definitely not noticed it. So, yeah, I don't think we have signs for dual carriageway. Maybe somewhere and I've just not seen it.
I do remember the one that indicated the end of a dual carriageway because for some reason it had a church on it. And while we're on the subject of religion, that brings us on to this. Ooh, confusion.
Horse and carriage.
Carriages, religion. How does this all tie together? Surely horses and carriages are how British people still get to school. Well, despite what Victorian period dramas may have you believe, we've since embraced buses. But in the United States, there's one particular community where you're likely to see a road sign for a horse-drawn vehicle. The Amish community. Several years ago, the wife and I took a visit up to Shipshewana in Indiana. And it was like a completely different world just because of the communal resistance to technology.
Yo, you know, if you go to an area where there's, you know, like, I don't know where the Amish are. Like, are they in certain states? Are they in all states, but certain areas? I'm not too sure. But wherever they are, right, are there a lot of, like, horse and carriages about on the roads? And they could be on the roads just like going the same cars.
And one element of that was the horse-drawn buggies. I mean, that was the most common mode of vehicle in the town. We look like the weird ones driving around in our Oldsmobile, but then who doesn't? And as it turns out, horses are not the only non-human animal to get their own sign.
Oh, bears. Oh,
the
yeah,
thing that they don't tell you about bears is that they're able to blend into their natural surroundings. Kind of like how I do with signs warning me of their presence. And so seeing that sign, as I believe I may have done in the state of Idaho, where I also read a local news story about a bear that infiltrated a chicken coop, when I see that sign, I reach for the child lock. Does anybody else do that? It can't just be me.
You know what? I would do that as well, bro. Yo, has it ever happened as like bears attack cars in America? So like, you know, like on the road or whatever, bears jumped out, attacked the car and stuff. Has that happened, or did it just stay far away from cars?
Because I've seen the 1997 Anthony Hopkins film The Edge. You know, I don't want any part of that. In fact, if I see a grizzly bear coming anywhere close to my car, firstly, I'll reach for the Skittles, and secondly, I might take one of these.
Detour!
So listen, here are my two favourite facts about the word detour.
Wait, don't we have a sign like this? It's not called detour. What is it called? I see it all the time. I should know. But we do it's something similar. He'll probably show it.
Firstly, and this is truly amazing, you can rearrange all of the letters to get the word routed. And yeah, I have lost hours of sleep over that fact. And secondly, it's a word that's used on American road signage when, say, there's construction work ahead and they want you to go a different route.
Right.
They rerouted you.
Okay.
And no, before you ask, in Britain, we don't just drive through the construction, except for that one time in Sheffield in 1997. But, you know, I was late for the football match. What are you going to do? In fact, like with yield and give way, we do have a sign for this. It's similar, but not the same. If anything, I actually blend in better with the
division. That's what it is. Oh, not division. It's very late at night. It's what time is it? It's 2:30 in the morning, right? I'm tired. It's not. Hey, don't laugh at me, bro. I am dyslexic as well, so if you're laughing, that's very mean. And I'm being serious, bro. Yo, I forgot what I was gonna say. Diversion. Not division. Diversion. Okay.
The UK version, which features the word diversion instead of detour.
Diversion.
It's often said that the biggest difference between Britain and America is that Americans think 100 years is a long time and the British think 100 miles is a long way.
True.
But what if you could combine these two perspectives into historic roads?
Okay.
Well, Britain of course has no shortage of those, just ask the Romans. But from memory, it does have a shortage of standardized road signs to denote them. In the US, famously, the opposite is true. Even though it was officially removed from the United States highway system in 1985, Route 66 is arguably the most famous of its kind. And living, as I do, in Chicago, where the so-called Mother Road began, I am happily familiar with the road sign that stands on it.
It's pretty cool.
The tourists. Sadly,
it actually is pretty cool. It reminds me of, like, you know, when you play video games, or like even like where you collect cards and you get the mega rare one. You know what I'm saying? This is like a rare, this looks to me like a very like rare card version of road sign.
Years of improvements and realignments, it would be replaced by new sections of the interstate highway system, which brings us on very neatly to this.
So it is. Number one. I mean, not number one.
Now, with all of the attention that I give to UK buses and train services, you could be forgiven for thinking we don't have an interconnected motorway system, but we do. It's just that all those years ago when I was a child, I never felt this deep compulsion to sketch the signs that denoted the motorway number because they're quite boring. I mean, they sort of look like license plates. And please, Uncle Toby, don't use this as carte blanche to go and put that to the test. What can I say? They don't inspire me. Whereas, just look at the absolute majesty of an interstate highway sign. I mean, look at the shield. It's almost as American as Captain America. who I've just realised also has a shield. And
That's
so if
cool.
we consider the fact that the highway system looks like the human circulatory system, then the shields, being defenders, are antibody. I don't know where I'm going with this. I like the shields. Let me know in the comments if you've driven in both countries and whether or not these road signs were an eye-opener. At the end of this video, don't forget to subscribe to my...
Very interesting video, especially that I know one day I will be driving in America. Yeah, let me know if you guys have ever been to the UK, drove in the UK and whatnot, how you found it. Driving on a different side of the road, different signs and stuff like that. It'll be really cool to find out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.